Hello, this is Mr. Burdick, and today we are going to go over some vocabulary words that we use in world geography. But first, a quote from Ernest Hemingway. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Now, of course, when I say fellow man here, this was written in a time when uh, man was the only gender used, but we know now, that means fellow human being, okay? So, anyway, what does this quote mean? Well, you have unique gifts and talents that no one else has. So, trying to be superior to a fellow human being is silly. Why? Well, you have, as I mentioned, unique gifts and talents. So, you should really be trying to be superior than the person you was yesterday. Because when you do that, then you will actually make your gifts and talents even stronger and more defined. Okay, so you're really wasting your time try by trying to be superior to your fellow human being. Here's our first quote: supranational region. Supranational region. This is a territory that is created by the union of several nations coming together to form a group. Okay, and it's usually a trade group. For example, here in North America, we have what's called NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Association. And this is an agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Canada that we will trade with each other and not charge tariffs or a tax to import goods to our respective countries. We also share manufacturing and other things. Why do we want to create this supranational region? Well, it helps the economy of all our countries. In fact, because of NAFTA, in Mexico, they have actually gotten a substantial middle class since when NAFTA first started in the early 1990s. As you can see, there are many supranational regions around the world. Okay, we have the EU, the European Union, right here in Europe. In Australia and New Zealand and Oceania, we have the Pacific Island form. Supranational region. Globalization. Globalization. This is a process of increasing activity between the world's societies. So as the internet becomes more sophisticated, you see more globalization. Before, we had barriers like borders, languages, and culture. But because of, for example, the sophistication of the internet, a lot of those barriers have been being broken down. Take language, for example. You can actually communicate with somebody in Japan or China, even though you may not speak Chinese or Japanese. However, you can use Google Translate. It will translate that language into English or another language that you like. Globalization. Number three, manufacturing industries. Manufacturing industries. These are economic activities related to the production of goods for sale. For example, look at this GIF here. It looks to me like they are making computers or iPads or tablets of some sort. Well, this is possible because of the manufacturing industries. For centuries, most things were either made by the person or a family, or it was made by a person or family that traded or sold to somebody else. However, since the Industrial Revolution of 200 years ago, Manufacturing industries has replaced that to a large extent. Number four, service industries. Service industries. These are economic activities related to providing services for sale. For example, let's take doctors, which is a service. You get sick. After a few days, you say, "Oh, I'm still sick." So you go to the doctor. You say, "Doctor, what can I do? I'm sick." Well, what's the doctor do? The doctor looks at you and may run some tests, may run some blood tests or whatever, okay, and trying to diagnose based on their years of schooling, okay, on what is wrong with you. And hopefully, they find something so you can be cured. Well, this is part of a service industry. They are providing a service. Five, infrastructure. Infrastructure. This is a system that facilitates communication and transportation in a community. For example, here in Odessa, we are an urban area. Well, as an urban area, we need a good infrastructure to support these thousands and thousands of human beings that live in the city of Odessa. We need roads, electrical grids, sewage, water, and so forth. Okay, to that because to have a proper infrastructure or systems that facilitate communication, transportation, and community. Infrastructure. Enclaves. Enclaves. A culturally distinct territory which is isolated or surrounded by another territory. For example, where my ancestors are from, Cajuns, okay, is in South Louisiana here. It is a culturally distinct territory. They have unique culture and unique, with their own food. They speak Cajun French and so forth. Okay, this is an enclave, a culturally distinct territory which is isolated or surrounded by another territory. Crossroads, crossroads, place where many migration routes intersect. Crossroads. For example, recently we studied the Silk Road, or we are studying the Silk Road. Well, what was the Silk Road? It was a crossroad. It's a place where many migration routes intersected. Okay, and it's important in world geography because we understand that it's at crossroads where not only goods and services are exchanged, but also cultures and ideals. Okay, where cultural change can happen. Crossroads. Permafrost. Permafrost. This is an area of subsoil that remains frozen. Okay, this is found in the high latitudes of the Earth. As you recall, the high latitudes are an area of the Earth that the temperature never really gets above a certain degree throughout the year. In fact, it's usually pretty cold. All right, like in Siberia, Russia, or in the upper parts of Canada, for example. And this causes permafrost. And the ground is, well, it's subsoil that remains frozen. I mean, you can dig into it and you can you're digging up dirt and ice. Permafrost. And number 9, cultural convergence. Cultural convergence. This is when different cultures become more alike in terms of technology, sports, language, and even politics. Well, you probably heard Mr. Burdick's mention that when he was in the Navy, he was stationed in Japan. Well, when I was in Japan and I was there for 5 years, I saw a lot of cultural convergence. For example, until World War II, the emperor was the head of Japan. I mean, they worshiped the emperor as a god, okay, and his word was divine. However, after World War II, okay, mainly because they lost, uh, the emperor said he wasn't divine, and the government of Japan adopted a constitutional form of government like we have here in the United States. Okay. Also, they have they adopted a lot of our technology and vice versa too. I mean, look, we got PlayStations, right? You know, and so on. Uh, Sports, baseball, which was invented here in America, it's really big in Japan. Okay, well, those are examples of cultural convergence when different cultures become more alike in terms of technology, sports, language, and even politics. Thank you.